It's time now for the Sue-ellensanders Show. Heard every Saturday morning at this time, 11:06. And right now with us in the studio, along with our guest, here's Sue-ellensanders.
Welcome to the show, and I'm so pleased to have with me old friend that has worn many hats as a guest on the show, and I think at one time you even guest hosted for me, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So Sydney Liebman has been around for a long time in many different guises. We first met when we were both working with the Tribune. And then you continued to work for Scripps when it was Scripps, and then it was TC Palm, and then it was, and of course she was the editor of the Luminaries, and now she is the director of fund development for Hands of St. Lucie County. And you know, really honestly, when I first heard about Hands, I really thought that it was a clinic for hands.
Yes, unfortunately, that is what a lot of people think.
But it's not.
It is not.
So correcting that right away, and we do that every time somebody says, oh, it's a clinic for hands. No, it's a clinic for people who need a hand, and it is for people who are working class people who are uninsured.
Most of our patients are working, not all of them, but most of them are. So HANDS provides primary health care to low-income, uninsured adult residents of St. Lucie County. So our patients have to be between the ages of 18 and 64. They need to be uninsured. They are qualified. In other words, the patient comes in and sits down with one of our patient navigators, and we verify income, and we verify whether or not they have health insurance, whether it be Medicare, Medicaid, or something on the open market. And then we're able to get them set up with a primary care health care caregiver, a lot of word care in there, and we take care of them. We have 72,000 uninsured adult residents here in St. Lucie County. That is 1/3 of our adult population. So there is a huge need for health care to be provided to those that don't have health insurance.
And you might ask, why 18 above? Why not children? Because children in the state of Florida have as long as they're school age, they have a health insurance that you could purchase through the school districts. And it's very reasonably priced and very available to them.
Correct. And also Medicaid.
Yes.
So there should not be any child in St. Lucie County that does not have access to health care. So we do focus on adult primary care. But we also offer a continuum of care. So if our patients are diagnosed with a chronic disease such as cancer or diabetes, we are able to provide them with that continuum of care that's needed for continuing treatment. We have partnerships with more than 65 healthcare providers along the Treasure Coast and all the way over to Moffitt Cancer Center, and they provide healthcare to our patients at no cost.
And a lot of times that when people are getting more regular checkups than they have been and something shows up, they're always afraid that, okay, I can't afford to do anything about it. And if you are qualified and registered with Hands of St. Lucie County, you can. Now, Hands is also affiliated with other clinics throughout the state.
Throughout the nation. We are a Volunteers in Medicine clinic.
But you may have heard of VIMS. You might have heard that word or that.
Correct. So Volunteers in Medicine, or VIM as some people say, is a nationwide organization. We are a part of that organization. Sometimes the clinics will take on that name, Volunteers in Medicine. Our clinic is named Hands of St. Lucie County, and it's an acronym for Health Access Network delivery system. And that's a mouthful. So, as a result, we are in the process of changing our name, hopefully by October or November, and our name will become, it'll be a combination. It'll say VIM, VIM, and then a slash, and then Hands of St. Lucie County.
Which will make it easier to talk about and easier to communicate with people who need your services. And it's also important to note that even though you're affiliated with Volunteers in Medicine, you don't receive funding in that direction. It's not like, they're the daddy organization that's handing down to you. You have to seek your own funding.
That's correct, and I appreciate you bringing that up. The Volunteers in Medicine National Organization does not provide funding to any of its affiliates. But it does help you garner volunteer physicians, and you have to have all volunteer physicians in order to be a Volunteers in Medicine clinic. But they do not provide any funding. All of our funding is provided locally by local grants that are offered through the county commission or the cities, and then a lot of fundraising efforts here locally, and any private donations that come in throughout the year.
And the physicians and healthcare professionals, because it's more than just physicians that volunteer with you, because you need the full staff, you need the nurses and the assistants. And where do you get the physicians from, the medical personnel from?
So our medical personnel, the physicians, as I said earlier, are volunteers. We do have 2 paid part-time nurse practitioners on staff. Other healthcare providers include nurses. We also are very, very fortunate to have such a great relationship with Florida State University, Indian River State College, of course, all 3 hospitals, Martin Health System, Lawnwood, and St. Lucie Medical System. St. Lucie Medical Hospital. St. Lucie Medical Hospital actually has the 3rd-year residents from Florida State, and so we're able to use those 3rd-year residents.
And it's great for them to get the experience. And, there is the Florida State University Medical School campus that's at IRSC that's been there for, maybe 8 years or so?
At least.
Like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's great for our area, because a lot of times the students that are in the program get out in the community, help to volunteer at places like VIMS and like Hands, and then want to stay in the community.
That's very, very true. And another thing that's very good for them is that if they do their residency at a place like Hands, unfortunately, our patients wait until the last minute. When you can't afford health care, you tend to just wait until you just can't function any longer. And so the cases that these residents see are usually far more progressed than they would see if they were doing their residency at a private physician's office.
Which is bad for the patients, but it's a huge learning opportunity for the residents.
It is.
So
yeah,
there's a positive there.
There is, and they're always very appreciative. Our patients love these residents. Just love them. They usually are only there for about 6 weeks, and then they rotate out and bring in a few new ones. But there's always 2 or 3 there.
That's great. So when you say the spectrum of healthcare, you also offer dental.
We do,
care.
And we have two dental programs. Excuse me. One is a pediatric dental program, which is fully funded, and so I don't talk about it as often as I should.
Because it's fully funded.
Because it's fully funded, and I don't ever have to beg for money for it, so that's a good thing. But our pediatric dental program is amazing. It is nothing short of amazing. our pediatric dental hygienist is a gentleman by the name of Irvin Valson. Irvin goes out into our public schools here in St. Lucie County. He goes to the Boys and Girls Clubs during the summer, and he goes to all of the early learning centers in St. Lucie County, and he provides dental checks on more than 10,000 children each school year.
Wow. And once if you catch dental problems early like that, or you show and demonstrate the preventive care so they don't have problems, and you hand them toothbrushes, and some of the kids, some kids think that a toothbrush is for life.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of children that have never seen a toothbrush ever in their life. And so seeing it from us is the first time. Some children tell us that they have to share a toothbrush with everyone in the family. So our pediatric dental program has, honest to goodness, made an incredible change in so many children's lives. It's just amazing. Then we also have an adult dental program. Our adult dental program is at the clinic. Our patients come in. We fill cavities, is what most people call it, fillings. And then we also do extractions right there in the office. If someone needs dentures or periodontal work or anything like that, we do have partners outside of the clinic that we're able to call upon that help us out with our patients with regard to those more serious issues. Our dentists are all volunteers. They normally volunteer on Fridays because that's when their office is closed. All of our volunteer dentists are practicing dentists here in St. Lucie County. None of them are retired. And Dr. Bob Gehrig leads our dental program, and he's local here in Fort Pierce for decades.
And he's awesome.
Yes.
So really, you're covering so many needs in St. Lucie County, and it does cover just St. Lucie County. So the funds that you raise during any of the fundraising events or any of the grants you write or any of the ways that you're able to bring in the funds to meet your daily expenses, they all stay right here in St. Lucie County.
They absolutely do. Every dollar raised stays right here in St. Lucie County. And if you don't mind me adding at this point, because of all of the volunteers that treat our patients for free, and because of all of the volunteer hours that are served within the clinic, it's about a $15.60 return investment on each dollar donated.
Each dollar. So if you want your money that you are giving to charity to go a long way, this is an awesome way for you to do it. And along those lines, there are so many different ways that you can be a volunteer or come to a special event for Hands of St. Lucie County, and you can whatever money that you are participating in helping raise, as Sydney said, a dollar goes toward $15 worth of services. So that's just incredible, and that's not even taking into account the future issues that might come up if the patients that are receiving health care don't receive health care on a timely basis.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And I'm just going to add one more thing because you mentioned the different ways that people can volunteer and help out and stuff. I would like to add, if there's anyone out there listening right now that might be a retired physician of any kind, and in your heart you kind of feel like you'd like to do this, but you don't really want to donate your life away, and you're worried about malpractice, what I can tell you is that we're not looking for your whole life, maybe just 2 or 3 hours here and there. And the clinic is covered under what's called sovereign immunity. So if any patient is being seen by a healthcare provider, that healthcare provider never has to worry about malpractice because of the sovereign immunity statutes here in Florida.
So if you are a retired physician, you don't have to go back to the table and get medical malpractice insurance.
Correct.
You're already covered for your volunteer activities at Hands.
Correct.
So that's terrific. And Hands, the location of Hands is really centrally located for patients to get there. But don't you come up with some ways to help some of the people that can't get there?
We actually were awarded a grant from the county last year that provided bus service. Unfortunately, it only provided that bus service for a year.
Oh, so it's gone.
It's gone.
I thought I had seen something about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
sorry.
Maybe next time. But you do actually. There's a fair amount of people. I remember seeing different things, that you having a patient that needed to get somewhere, and you'd go on the Hands Facebook page and say, I need a volunteer to take someone down to,
Correct.
West Palm Beach or
Right.
something like that. There is a very active Hands website, I should say right away, and a Facebook page. And all of these events that we're going to be mentioning are listed as events on Facebook. So if you're listening and you hear something that's of interest to you and you just don't get a chance to write down the phone number or the information, or you want to double check the date, you can look on the Hands website or on the Hands Facebook page, and there's bukus of information about that. So to begin with, the website is...
It's very simple. It's handsofslc.org. So that's handsofslc.org.
So you can remember that. You can look everything up, whether you're a medical practitioner who wants to find out about volunteering, whether you want to find out about receiving services, or whether you hear about one of the special events that Hands is doing and think it sounds fun and interesting. You can get in touch with somebody through Hands. And, Sydney, as the fund development director at Hands, you, as the director of fund development, you try to do a variety of different types of events, and you have an entire group that helps to fundraise for Hands all year round.
We do. The clinic and I have been extremely blessed to have a group of women that have done so much to raise money and awareness for the clinic these past 3 years, 2.5 years, I guess I should say. And this was born from an idea from a woman that probably most people in St. Lucie County already know her. Her name is Wendy Dwyer, and she read a book called The Necklace, and after reading the book, she suggested to me that we turn it into a fundraising project. And I kind of put her off for a little while about reading the book. And when I finally read it, I had to confess to her that I didn't really understand where her head was going after reading the book. Well, it turns out this book is actually about 13 women who live in California who, it's a true story, 13 real women. And together they pooled their money and they bought a very, very expensive diamond necklace to share. And it started out pretty much as an experiment for them, kind of a social experiment of some kind for them. But Wendy had the vision to turn it into a fundraiser by having 12 different women share a diamond necklace, and each of those women raise money for a cause. At the time, I was just starting out at the clinic, so it was just the perfect opportunity for me and for the clinic and for all of our patients to get some attention and get some awareness going and some funds raised. So we have 12 women each year that share this necklace and host events and raise money for the clinic.
And the unique thing about having 12 different women in the course of a year is because you have 12 different ideas. They're women from all different areas of the community, and they have different interests too. So you might have a tennis tournament, a golf tournament, a special event, a bingo fundraiser, a quarter auction, a variety of different things that a variety of women come up with. And each year there's a few of the women that stay involved. Oh, and then there was the calendar and the cookbook.
Yes.
So there are a lot of different ways to raise money. Each of the women gets the necklace for the month that she is doing the fundraising. And then during that month, she does her fundraiser and then passes it on to the next woman. And as one of the women from the first year, I was Miss February that first year, and I did a Gatsby Gala, which I was teaching my 10th graders and using the Great Gatsby. And actually, my 11th graders this year are doing the Great Gatsby at Lincoln Park. So I was very familiar with Gatsby, and we did a glittery gala event with the period dress. And I got to wear the necklace, and I got to talk about Julia, who that was the name. We named the necklace Julia. But I also got an opportunity to meet some women that I didn't know that the only thing that we had in common really was the necklace.
Yes.
And that was unique because these are women that I wouldn't have met any other time.
That is one of the really incredible things about this project, is that it has brought so many women together that didn't know each other, and now they're almost sisters.
Yes.
And
kind of sisterhood.
It is. It's just been a beautiful thing to witness. And each one of their events practically sells out. They're all very, very well attended. They have a good time. They're all very clever in their theme or planning of the event. I honestly think these women have raised the bar in event planning here in St. Lucie County, because they outdo themselves each month.
And we'd be remiss not to mention that the original necklace, the jewel of the Treasure Coast, Julia itself, came from G. Allen Jewelers, and Greg. He opened his heart. He donated the necklace to the group, and the women pass it from one person to another and feel like they're a princess.
Exactly. After the first year was over, then he donated a pair of earrings that get passed with the necklace each month.
I'm so glad I didn't have to do the earrings, because I spent a month worried I was going to lose the necklace.
No, we're very, very lucky that we have had his support all this time, and Julia is very, very popular. Everyone loves wearing her. Some of the girls remove her from their own neck and put her onto other women's necks and take pictures.
Or other men's necks.
Even other men, yes.
So I've seen some very prominent men in this county.
That's true.
With pictures wearing Julia. So you're into your third year of special events now.
We are.
And like I said, there's a lot of different things that are coming up, and we're going to mention some of the next few special events. And nobody expects you listening to go to every single event
except me.
Yeah, well, except for Sydney has high expectations, but beyond her, even if you're able to go to one event that is just something that's fun and exciting to you, and then maybe skip a month and then go to another event, and because the money, you feel like you're giving back to the community, because you are putting forth money that goes to the working class uninsured that need health care. And at the same time, bottom line, at the same time, you're having
a
fun.
good time.
You
Yes.
really are, because some of these events are just really crazy fun. So with that being said, there's an open house at Hands coming up right away, right around the corner on Tuesday, September 12th, from 5:30 to 7:30. And you can tour the clinic's facilities, and you'll also be able to meet some of the artists who are part of the special event that's coming up on September 23rd, which is
On September 23rd, we have our annual Little Black Dress event. And this year, the entertainment is dueling pianos. So if any of you out there have ever heard of Howl at the Moon, that's the type of show this is.
It's so much
It's just
fun.
way too much
Yeah.
fun. And you control the show. The audience controls the show. The audience picks the music. The audience is probably going to be picked on here and there by these guys that come and play their baby grand pianos. And it is just a very, very good time. At the Dueling Pianos event, we will have a silent and live auction. The items that are in that auction are lamps. They are wooden block lamps that have been distributed to about 30 artists across the county. And those artists are turning those lamps into works of art that will be auctioned at Dueling Pianos. On September 12th, we're having an open house so that we can hopefully get some new people in to take a look at the clinic and see that we are just like any other doctor's office and that we're clean and wonderful people and kind-hearted and truly care about the needs of the uninsured. And then a bonus is that all of those lamps will be on display and most of the artists will be there for you to meet. So the auction is called Lighting the Path to Healthcare. The actual auction will be held on September 23rd at the Dueling Pianos event, which is being held at the Pelican Yacht Club, and it will be $75 per person.
And so the actual auction is kind of the sideshow that
Yes.
goes with the event.
Yes.
The event itself is the Dueling Pianos. That's on September 23rd. And that's going to be a ton of fun.
It really is. We have basically it's a 2-hour cocktail party first, and then a 2-hour piano show. So from 6 to 8, it'll be a cocktail party and the silent auction, and some other fun things will be going on. And then at 8 o'clock, the doors to the larger room at the Pelican will open, and everyone will be seated for the piano show, which I promise you will love. There's just no other way to put it.
And it's not just all listening. If I remember correctly, going to a Dueling Pianos event before, a lot of times the people in the crowd sing along.
Everybody's singing along. You get up and dance. You pick the music. Like I said, there'll be sheets of paper for you to put your requests down, and then you take them up to the guys that are playing. They don't play without your requests. The show is the audience.
When you call it Dueling Pianos, are there sometimes both the pianos play, or sometimes just one piano player plays?
Both.
Okay, so they both play.
Well, what I mean by that is sometimes they both play,
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
only
Oh,
one of them
both,
play.
both.
It was both of what you said.
Okay. I gotcha. And what if they don't know the song?
I've never seen them not know a song. I'm not
You got
kidding.
2 chances, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I have never seen them not know a song. So, yeah,
They
it's up.
probably just ignore the request.
That
Don't
could be.
say anything
That could
about
be.
it.
It's up to you guys to stump the dueling piano guys.
Yeah. So September coming up, you've got. If you just want to come to the open house, there is no charge to go to the open house on September 12th, and you'll get to tour the facilities and then also to see the lamps that are going to be auctioned off. And then the event itself for September, put on by your Lady of Julia for September,
Gail Fleischy.
Gail Fleischy, is the Dueling Pianos Lighting the Path to Healthcare event. And, both be the Dueling Pianos, the event, $75 per person, and you'll have the opportunity to bid on these works of art from quite a variety of different artists. I saw Anita Prentice.
Anita Prentice has
some
done 2
beautiful-
mosaics.
Oh, 2.
Yes, beautiful.
Well, I actually am doing a fun and funky lamp. It's a literary lamp, the lamp of literacy, and I put one part of it is kind of with the fun and funky, the mosaic things that I had. Now, it's not going to compete with Anita Prentice's. Nothing competes with Anita Prentice's, but it looks pretty and it matches the bookshelves that are are going around, my literary lamp. But you also have Colleen Beck.
Colleen Beck. We have Holly Tunes. We have Ginny Peach Street. We have a girl by the name of Stacy Jorgensen Gorman, who many of you may have been involved in the rock hiding that's been going on for the past year or so.
Yeah.
Stacy is an artist that I saw online on the Port St. Lucie Rocks page on Facebook. And her work is just incredible. And she painted a whole scene of boats near a bridge. It's at night. It's just a phenomenal lamp that I hope goes for a whole lot of money because it's beautiful.
So I'm really excited to see all the rest of the lamps too, and meet some of the artists on September 12th.
All 5 of our county commissioners are competing with one another to see who can raise the most money from the lamps that each of them have made.
Or their associates. I say that loosely.
And Port St. Lucie Mayor Oravec has done a lamp. And Port St. Lucie City Councilwoman Shannon Martin has completed one as well.
So a lot of celebrity lamps
Yes.
out there competing, and you'll get to see all the lamps on September 12th, and you'll get to bid on them then on September 23rd at the Pelican Yacht Club, which is always a beautiful place
Yes.
to go to event. And it's Little Black Dress, but just to give you heads up, the guys don't have to wear little black dresses.
They don't. One year they did, but now we're over it.
And you know what? Your husband Mel has the cutest legs. I'm telling you.
Yes, he did wear a lacy
Yes.
number that first year.
Yes, good looking legs. So September, you've got the dueling pianos, lighting the path to healthcare. Then you have what's coming up next.
Okay, October, and this is a really, really interesting story. We have a patient and a former patient that wanted to do something for the clinic. And so they are putting on a two-day event. One day is in Stewart and one day is in Fort Pierce. And it's a heavy metal concert. It's 6 bands that are going to be performing at Rizzo's in downtown Fort Pierce. Rizzo's has an outside patio behind it, and that's where this concert will go on. And it starts at 7 p.m. and goes all night. And it's free, open to the public, and the way they're raising money is by selling beer and pizza. And we are thrilled that a patient wants to pay it forward.
Plus heavy metal, you'll probably get a different type
Completely different audience.
of audience.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not really sure, and Cliff, you might be able to contribute to this. Heavy metal. What type of music is heavy metal?
Loud.
It is loud. Yeah, it is loud, but it's kind of tuneful, isn't it? Who do we know from our generation that was heavy metal? What would you compare that to?
Well,
Metallica.
Okay.
Metallica's
okay.
a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the early heavy metal, Rush,
Okay.
Styx.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Styx.
Yeah.
Styx is beautiful music.
Well, there's
early.
like half ballad and half
Okay.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, before the metal got really heavy.
So the bands that are performing for us are called Ba Ruse, Dysfunctional, The Dude, Mickey Cunningham, and The Aftermath.
Mickey, yeah.
You know him?
Mikey, yeah. He works for Johnny Stam.
Awesome.
Cool. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Good
Some
guy.
excellent.
All these community.
And Nation of Decay.
Okay. And the show is free. It's at 7 p.m. and it's on October 7th. And the pizza, sales, and beer are going to benefit hands.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
So we're just thrilled that a patient wants to pay it forward. I can't even tell you how excited we are.
That's so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then also in October, our Miss October, Miss November, and Miss December, which is Veronica Timpone, Maria Seidel, and Pamela Timpone, are hosting a tennis tournament October 28th and 29th at the Legacy Golf and Tennis Club. And Dr. Shamshir Singh is sponsoring that event. And then in December, We have a beautiful Christmas concert that will also be held at the Legacy Golf and Tennis Club. That's on December 2nd. The doors open at 6 o'clock and the concert begins at 7. Those ticket prices are $20 each. All of our events that are planned right at this moment, the information is available online at our website. It's also available on our Facebook page, and it's available on the Julia website, which is thejuliaproject.org. And Julia is spelled JEWELIA.org.
And you have pretty much like every month or every other month throughout the year, you have some type of event coming up.
We do.
So if you miss one, you can always go online and check out one of the others.
We do. We already have January, February, March, April, and May planned for 2018, but I won't go into that. But I'm very, very, very grateful for the support.
And you can go to any of the events or all of the events, and then you'll be Sydney's new best friend.
Absolutely.
And you can receive any of the information that you need online. Now, you also write a lot of grants. You spend a lot of time of developing funds from either local or regional or federal grants.
Correct, I do. I write grants. Federal grants are just a different animal, all their own. They take a long time to write. Usually their deadlines are anywhere 6 or 7 months out from when they announce the grant. And the reason for that is because they're so large.
It takes 6, 7 months.
It takes that long to write
roll
them.
out.
It
Yeah.
does. And then I've written state grants, and locally our county commission supports the clinic. So that's a grant each year. The city of Fort Pierce had a grant opportunity. And then there's foundation grants that we write. So a lot of people don't understand what a grant is. It's not a loan, it's a gift. But with a grant, you normally have to report to the funder every month or every other month or so, telling them where their money has gone. And I love that part of the job. The reporting part of the job is very fulfilling for me because I love touting our successes, how many patients we've seen, how many patients have been cured of their disease or helped, or how many patients got new teeth and now they got a job because they can smile.
And the good thing about knowing that HANDS applies for and receives grants from these different places is this kind of means it's like the good housekeeping seal of approval that you have to prove yourself. You have to prove what you've done, what you've accomplished to the grant writing funder. And so people who give $25 for this event or $75 for that event, they can be sure that that money is being well used because, as you said, every $1 that's raised, you get $15 worth of services, and you can prove it.
I can prove it.
Yes.
That's exactly right. There's a lot of stuff that goes around on the internet about, not donating to certain charities because the salaries of the executive directors are so high, and only 10 cents of the dollar that you donated goes to actual services and so on. And I always beg people not to believe, first of all, what you read on the internet, and second of all, it only takes a few minutes for you to do your own research and learn which charities truly are on the up and up and where the money is going. And there's a website called guidestar.com that you can go to, that anyone can go to, and read the financials and read the 990s and see where every penny is going for every charity in the United States. And I'm very, very proud of what we do at the clinic. I'm very proud of what I've done while I've been there, and I'm proud of our Julia Project program, and these ladies have just put their heart and soul into this to keep this clinic open.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of ups and downs in funding through grants.
Yes.
And when you count on all your funding to be supplied through grants, you risk not being able to provide that funding at some point when it's completely beyond your control, when maybe that grant just isn't being given that year, or the amount of funds at the state or the national level have been cut. And there's nothing you can do about that except for, of course, urge people to contact their lawmakers.
Exactly. I can give you an example. One grant I wrote about 3 years ago was specifically for new dentures for our patients. At the time, we had about 60 patients waiting for dentures, and bless these people's hearts, they were walking around without any teeth, which means you are unemployable in today's market.
Yeah.
You have to be able to smile, and so
And
those
communicate.
and communicate. And
Yeah.
I felt so bad for these people, but I was able to get a grant, but it was specific to dentures, and it covered 50 people. And when that money was out, it was gone. So I wasn't able to go back to the funder and say, oh, I need more money, and they would just automatically write me a check. No, I have to wait for their next grant cycle to come up. So any nonprofit that depends upon grants knows that they might get it one year and they might not get it the next year.
And so instead of sitting back and waiting to take a chance or writing grants, to fundraise all year round, and to have a group of people who will help you with the fundraising, not just to provide the help putting the fundraiser together, but also to provide the ideas. The last really big fundraiser, the Docs Rock concert, was a sold out success, and it took place at the Sunrise Theater. And who knew that all these medical professionals on the Treasure Coast, there were 2 different bands full of medical professionals who were just as good on the stage as they are as doctors.
Oh, they were incredible, and
was-
they're anxious to do it again for us. So we're hoping to get it in March.
That's great. So that's something that will be coming around the corner. So I've got a question on the Chill Out Christmas that's coming up. How does the golf? Are they playing golf at all? Or is it just at the
No,
golf
that's
and
just the
country club?
location.
Okay,
It's
all right.
inside the Legacy.
Okay. So Legacy is the old PGA.
It's inside PGA.
Okay.
Mhm.
I always get confused at the different locations. So backing up from there, so the December event is going to be a Chill Out.
It is, and I
Christmas.
just want to quickly say that this is Mark Barnes. Mark Barnes is also a former patient. He does not mind me saying that. While I might be breaking a HIPAA law, he has signed a consent form that allows me to say that. And he is a former patient. He is like Yanni. If any of you out there are into the New Age, what they used to call New Age music by Yanni, Mark performs on keyboard, and it is unbelievably gorgeous.
So what a cool way to start the Christmas holidays, and that's
Yes.
actually December 2nd, so it's right at the beginning. It's not going to be all Christmas carols either.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, for those of us who are, kind of over Christmas carols, even, I don't want to sound like Scrooge or anything, but sometimes you just don't want to go to a concert where that's all they're doing.
No, it's not.
And that's all part of the chill out part.
Yes.
Is because you'll have a variety of.
And the Legacy has a new tapas bar and a tapas menu. So all of that will be available that
I
night.
didn't know that.
Mhm.
I love those little plates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love
So-
getting a variety of food. It's
We're
just-
our event is kind of going to kick it off for them, although it's already available now.
Okay, awesome. And then backing up from there,
Yes.
of course, there's the Bands for Hands, Saturday, October 7th, and that is the free show that is has been put together by one of your former patients, by several of your patients, and it's a heavy metal, and it starts at
7 p.m.
at Rizzo's,
Yes.
which is on Orange Avenue in downtown Fort Pierce. And that event is free, but you can buy pizza and buy beer, and that's how they're going to raise funds. So it'll be a real fun event. It starts at 7 o'clock and then goes till late at night.
Yeah, I'm told probably 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Probably I won't be there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to be honest.
Yeah, probably not me either. And then backing up to that.
But if I need to be, I will.
Yes, you give your all. Then there's the tennis tournament. That is in October.
October 28th and 29th.
And that is taking place.
That's also at the Legacy Golf and Tennis Club.
Okay, and all of this information is on the website, and you can click on any of the special events to find out more information. And is the tennis tournament, is that open to anyone who plays tennis, or how does that work?
It is. They have divisions. I'm not a tennis player, so it's I don't know.
It's
but I know that
probably
there's
kind
men's
of
and women's
age and
division.
professional,
Yes. Kind of like running.
Yeah, kind of like running. Professional and amateur, and we'll have Pam or Maria or somebody come on and talk more detail about that as we get closer to that time. And then, of course, the dueling pianos, which I already have my little black dress for. I can't wait. The last time there was a little black dress event, I didn't have a solid short black dress, and I had to wear a black and white one.
Yes, you did.
I was really sad about that.
She was a fish out of water.
Yes, I was. So now I've got my cute little black dress, and I plan on wearing it. Marty, however, will not be wearing a little black dress.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. Maybe. But I can't wait, and I can't wait to see the dueling pianos and to be part of the fun and excitement. I do like a sing-along. I really do. And I know that I'm not the best singer in the world, so it's good when everybody in the room is also singing. And it's good with the pianos playing because we want to drown out the fact that I'm not exactly always in tune, but I enjoy it.
Well, trust me, you will hear Moni Moni. You will hear Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline.
I'll be practicing.
It will be fun.
Yeah. My son does an awesome rendition of Sweet Caroline. We'll have to get him there singing along with it. He won't be wearing a black dress either.
Next year.
So, yeah. You have your hopes pretty high there. September 23rd from 6 to 10 p.m. and it's $75 per person. And what do you get for the $75?
Well, first of all, a whole lot of fun. That's
Okay.
first of all.
Yes.
There's plenty of food, and one of the Pelican Yacht Club cocktails is included in the ticket.
So you have hors d'oeuvres and cocktails. It's not a sit-down dinner.
It is
then?
not a sit-down dinner.
Okay, so we just want to clarify because sometimes I go to these events and then I think I'm going to eat and then I just drink instead, and it's not a pretty sight because after 2 drinks, somebody has to carry me out. Actually, it might be more fun singing, though.
That's right.
I'll think that I'm better in tune.
That's right. That's what the 2 hours of cocktail party's for, to rev you up for the show.
And to rev you up for the silent auction. Yes, Cliff.
It makes you think you're singing real good.
Uh-huh.
Right? It sounds good, too, while you're there.
Yeah. Well, I love microphones, so we'll see. And then, of course, just right around the corner, September 12th, is the open house where if you want to take a tour of the Hands Clinic or if you just want to meet the artists who decorated the different lamps, that's right around the corner, and you can come and you can come out for free and check out the clinic. The clinic is located on US 1 in what we still refer to as the old Sam's Club, even though how many years?
It hasn't been Sam's Club for a long, long time.
Okay,
what,
well,
15 years? I don't know.
No,
I feel like
hasn't
it's been that long.
15 years.
We're going to have to look that up.
It's still the logistics center, isn't it?
It is. It's
It
the
is.
county's
Okay,
logistics
thank
center.
you.
Our Christmas Kids giveaway takes place there.
And the
this December.
Christmas
right next
kids,
door to
yes,
us.
Next door, yep.
Yes, it does. But it's very centrally located for everybody to come by and check out the services you offer and the open house on September 12th. And then check out the website too, because because there's other events that are coming up in January, February, March, and Docs Rock. As soon as they commit to a date, we'll have that up and running. And that concert did sell out. A lot of these events do sell out. So go ahead and purchase your tickets as soon as you can. And you can purchase them right there online.
Yes, online.
So that's great. And Hands, has really made a difference in the community. I think we just have like another minute or two, right, Cliff? Yep. But you've been, Hands of St. Lucie County has been in the community now for how many years?
Since 2010.
Yes. But really active, actually, for about the last 3 or 4 years.
Of course, since I got
Yes.
there.
Well, since they had the good fortune to bring the Mouth of the South on board. I don't think I've ever called you that.
No, you haven't.
But you proudly would wear that title, wouldn't you?
I would.
So Sydney Liebman has been my guest, and she is the Director of Fun Development. We also sometimes refer to her as the Director of Fun Development without the D, because she does, she usually makes sure that people have a good time at whatever special event that they go to. And you've got a lot of things on your plate that you can go to. You can also call and get more information about volunteering, whether you're a medical professional or if you want to serve on a special event committee. There's a lot of opportunities.
There are. And the number is 772-462-5646.
You've been listening to the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. I'm here every Saturday at 11:06. We'll see you next week with more.
The Sue Ellen Sanders Show at 11:05 or so on Saturday mornings on Digital 1590. And archives of the show can be heard on YouTube under WPSL TV. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the home of the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. Just another one of the many reasons why we're the talk of the Treasure Coast.